You're listening to Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored, bringing you the cutting edge of the entertainment world weekly, hosted by Lynn.
Woohoo! All right, everybody, welcome back to another amazing episode of Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored. We are broadcasting live tonight from the United Broadcasting Network, ubngo.com, Channel 1. We are also live streaming tonight on our blog at Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored.com. So make sure you remember that and you tune in. I'm your host, Lynn, and it is my pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. Joining me in the co-host seat is Joe Williamson Management.
Thank you so much for having me. Beyond honor. It's always a blast. An amazing lineup you've got tonight.
That's right, we do. And welcome back, Joe. I know you've had an exciting week. You had like Comic-Con and you were working on a movie production and all kinds of stuff going on, right?
No, I've been very blessed. And also recently the city gave me an award for my work with the community and supporting community and also in the business. So I've been very honored and blessed.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You're very
Congratulations.
kind.
So it's like a Model Citizen Award, right?
That and for my business, and also for helping the community. It's a combination of things.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing. And I know Joe means business, right, guys? That's so funny. Anyway, joining us in the second half of our show tonight, we have rock metal band Eden Muir. They have a new album out. It is called Lost Anthology, and they dropped a new single. The new single is titled The Last Children, and guys, it is amazing, and a portion of the proceeds are being donated to help the war efforts for the victims, the children in Ukraine. So Ukrainian descendant Nico, the band's frontman, will be on, and we will be hearing live in the studio The Last Children, and we will be sharing with our listeners, we will be sharing with our listeners on how you can get a copy of an amazing new metal album and donate to Ukraine. So lots of things going on, but live in the studio right now, we have an amazing guest. Joe, what do you think?
Brilliant award-winning actress and now award-winning author as well.
Beautiful actress, now author, is an absolute traffic stopper. And I mean literally. This woman stopped traffic recently with a brand new billboard on Sunset Boulevard to promote the release of her memoir called Breaking the Mold. Do you mind if I show it?
No.
Okay. This is her new memoir. It's called Breaking the Mold. Her story of her journey as a first-generation daughter of Mexican immigrants who earned a master's degree in social work, and then she came to Los Angeles to pursue a prolific and successful career in acting, and here she is today. Some of her notable film credits include Bullet opposite the legendary Danny Trejo, and some of her more recent films, Fake News
with Eric Roberts, Marty Cove, John Savage, incredible cast, and then also Betrayed, which she won an award for Best Villain. And
Betrayed and Torch.
Oh, yes.
You mean, right?
Yes, of course.
And her latest film, Eye for an Eye, is a Western, and it has already won a handful of festival awards. And guess what? She stars with her real-life love interest, actor John Savage. Please welcome to our show tonight, the beautiful Blanca Blanco.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here and to meet you, Amber and Joe. Thank you for arranging this.
No, it's my pleasure.
It is so amazing to see her in person. You are so beautiful on film. I was going through all your publicity shots from Cannes and all of that. I love the picture of you in the red dress.
Oh, for the Golden Globes? Yeah, the controversial dress.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I made the dress. I bought the fabric, and I asked my friend to, cut it for me. And so,
This is the one with the red cutout.
Yeah, it was at the Golden Globes, and everybody was wearing white, black, and I wore red. So yeah, that
So what were they talking about you for not
yeah
following?
Well, there was no dress code. It was just that some nominees were gonna wear black. Well, I'm not a nominee, and I thought, well, that would be weird if I show up with the black dress, and then I'm not a nominee.
Oh, everybody was going to wear the same color dress.
Well, it wasn't a dress code, so some nominees were gonna wear black to protest. And so, well, I'm not a nominee, so why would I be wearing black? That's like kind of silly, right?
What were they protesting?
Me Too. Me Too.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Me
the
Too. I remember that. A
Yeah.
lot of you guys will remember that. The big Me Too movement, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody wore black. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did call the office, the Golden Globes office, and I said, I heard there's a dress code, and they're like, no, there's no dress code. Some nominees are wearing black, but you can wear whatever you want. I'm like, oh, okay, because I have a red dress, and I don't want to, if it's a dress code, I don't want to come with a red dress. Well, I arrived there, like I get dropped off on the red
She looked
carpet,
amazing.
and I feel like I was like, like the walk of shame when you're walking out, like, oh God.
There's the dress. They just showed it.
And everyone is wearing black, but there were other people that were wearing color, but I was the headline, and so I guess they liked it. I don't know. Obviously not. I mean, it was like I received death threats, everything for months.
You received a death threat for
Many.
wearing a dress.
Yeah. And so much hate emails, everything. It was really crazy.
Isn't that amazing? I mean,
Yeah.
only in Los Angeles or only in Hollywood, right?
Exactly.
That stuff like that happens.
There's so much stuff going on, and it's like they're really, because I wore red. My mom, she saw me in the Spanish channels, in the news, and she's like, oh, they're saying that you wore a different color. And my mom is like, well, how silly. Why would you wear the same color as everyone else?
That's what I said.
I'm like, I know, but I guess, But anyway, it was, a great experience for me because I got to see, obviously, I wanted to follow through, and because I was going to go back in my car, like, I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing. But then I thought, well, I cannot give up. I have to follow through because I also have a team behind me, like, I can just be because I'm wearing something different. So I just kept walking, and people screaming, like, cursing and stuff. But I'm like,
When you were coming through the crowd, oh my goodness. I wish I would have been there. They would have been really mad if I would have showed up with you, right? Because I would have been like,
yeah.
I love it when it makes people mad. Why would you? And your mom is right. I absolutely agree with her. Why would you want to wear the same color everybody else is? I mean, I understand that there was a protest going on.
Yeah.
And I do understand that it was an important subject.
Yeah, it was an important subject because obviously we're dealing with that, but when it is not a very clear message that everybody, only nominees, then you kind of have to figure like, well, it's not for me, only for nominees.
So let's talk about your book, Breaking the Mold.
So Breaking the Mold, it's my first book that I wrote during the lockdown. And I decided I wanted to write a book.
So what inspired you, first of all, before we start? What inspired you to write a book?
What inspired me was driving in LA and seeing so much poverty, abuse, and discrimination happening. And I thought I need to write something to provide, that inspires people about overcoming hardships. And also, I felt we needed more stories of hope and resilience and
so, you have some story.
Yeah, and so I thought I wanted to share my story, but when I got older, I thought I would make it into a book. But then, who expected the pandemic? Nobody did.
No,
so
the pandemic has
time,
been hard on everybody.
Yeah,
I agree.
So I did it during the lockdown, and it was my first book, and
so you've written this book yourself. This is not a ghostwriter.
No.
So you just sat down and said, I'm going to write a book. I've never written a book. I don't know how. I'm just going to tell my story.
Yeah, like I knew the order I wanted to put it, like, from childhood all the way up. I have ideas of the chapters I wanted to do, but I didn't know, like, the formats and stuff, like, for printing. So I did reach out to a publishing company, and I basically said, I'm working on this. Will you guys be able to, maybe represent me? And they did. When my book was done, they were able to format it for me, and yeah.
Well, you have an amazing story, and I hope you don't mind talking about it. I did see parts. I didn't read the whole book. I didn't have time. But last night, as I was going through your story, we have some similarities from our childhood. Some of the same things happened, and there's a story in your book that is. It's something that you put out about the book, and it talks about how you were heavily disciplined as a child, and you had some abuse.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yes. So growing up, I was born here in the U.S., but then we moved to Mexico, and when I was 9 years old, we moved to Washington State. So we lived in a car garage for 2 years. We didn't have water. I mean, we had no hot water. We had no electricity. Like, we had a little toilet. But it was just a car garage, and you would, the walls were so thin, you can, the ice will form, and you had like, I would go to sleep with 4 coats or 3, with beanie hats and gloves, and we were 6 at that time, and so yeah, definitely it was, severe poverty, and I also mentioned about my father. He was abusive as well. He came from a different time where women don't have the equal rights as men, because he's very traditional, and so I had to fight for my freedom and independence.
And he was from Mexico.
Yeah.
So he grew up in Mexico.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
His cultural background.
Very machista, like you are just like, the man is in charge and girls don't have rights, like that. It was very like, so, for me,
Which was common.
Yeah, it was normal for him because he grew up in that environment, but then you come here and it's like, no, this is not the way it works here. And plus, it didn't work for my belief system either, because I just felt that I wanted to do something with my life. I knew that living in poverty motivated me to reach for my goals, because I knew that the only solution to overcome those barriers was to get an education. That's why I went to college.
Before you talk about your education, I just have a question for you. Have you forgiven your father for the stuff that happened when you were a child? I know there was a story about you being beaten with a horsewhip and other things like that. Have you ever, have you gone and done the work? Have you come to terms, and have you, how has this affected you in your older life?
Well, I mean, definitely, like, I tried growing up to be able to understand that it wasn't my fault what was happening, that it was something that obviously he has issues. I wanted to make sure I didn't have, like, a messed up life in the future, because everything affects you when you're a child.
Absolutely.
So I definitely place boundaries. So in order to heal, sometimes you need boundaries, and that's what I did.
But you still have a relationship with your father today. So
yeah, we still have a relationship.
Okay, well, that's wonderful that you've been able to go back and you've created like a new relationship to your family, because I heard that you immediately opened with talking about your mom.
Yeah.
How is your relationship with your mom today?
Well, she was, my rock, and she passed away a year ago before I released the book. And so she, I would read to her the chapters, and she would sometimes give me details that I forgot, like when we live in the garage. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I forgot that part. That's like very like, like really like messed up, But she was her dream was to, have it in Spanish too. So I will be making it in Spanish. But she passed away just before I released it, and not from COVID. Like, it was from heart problems. So definitely, she was my rock, my inspiration.
So the book is dedicated to your mother?
That's beautiful.
The book, everybody, is called Breaking the Mold. And I know that she has, like myself, she has a backstory. And she had a hard upbringing, and there was a lot that happened to her that may have stopped somebody like you or me or any of us from growing up and pursuing our dreams. I mean, children are damaged, and how you come out of these types of things is what kind of person you become.
Yeah.
But it never leaves you. It's a part of you forever.
Yeah.
So you did not let it stop you.
No, I definitely knew that. One thing that I learned was that if I look at my problem and like allow it to stop me, like, okay, the situation, if I saw it as a problem, then it was really heavy weight. But if I saw it as a barrier, so then I would challenge myself to push forward. like, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to do this. I will take goals, little goals, to be able to, not to get overwhelmed with changing my environment, but just taking little steps. And that's what I talk in my book about, goals, like focusing on goals and breaking them down into small parts. Because sometimes we have ideas like, oh, we want to be able to accomplish this, but then you don't accomplish it, and then you just
we have dreams, but we have no action plan.
Yeah, there's no.
We have a dream, we have a thought, we want to be. I'd love to do that, but we don't have a plan to be able to get us from where we sit today. And when we carry a lot of damage, it's even harder for us to do.
Yeah, and that's what I focus a lot on my book is about. The action part, because you can have all these ideas, but then you don't take action. So what is the point? It's just being a talker.
So you went back to school, you got your master's degree.
Yeah, so I went to school, I graduated, went to college, and I got my bachelor's in psychology, my master's in social work. And at the same time, I was doing acting classes, doing theater, doing plays, just doing whatever I could to stay active in that field. But when I knew that I didn't want to repeat history either. And I'm like, I need to have my foundation before I moved to LA. So when I moved to LA, I had already a strong foundation. Like I knew that I could come and handle what I needed to come. So when I came here, I thought, okay, I'm going to start acting. And I did. But I realized, I need to get a real job first, because it's like, you do workshops, you do like, photo shoots for your headshots, everything adds up. And so then I thought I started working in hospice care. So I work with people that had a terminal illness, and I did that for 4 years. It was definitely I grew so much from that experience, but at the same time also I was doing acting, But then when I joined the union, I was able to transition into acting full time.
And boy, she's had some career as an actress. Let's fast forward to this now. So now your first movie, you came out of the gate. Let's talk about that.
So when I moved to LA, I booked within the first month. I booked a feature film, Dark Real, and then also Bullet with Trejo and
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. I've been a fan of his work.
What was it like to work with Danny Trejo?
He is a very kind person and very respectful, and just,
And also, he came from a hard life
and
a hard background.
Yeah,
and he's become a successful, amazing, legendary actor himself.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's also like has like a donut stores, like taco.
He's a businessman. He's got taco places. He got donut stores. Yeah, because you have to,
Yeah,
you have to have a business. You have to enterprise.
Yeah, so it was a great experience, and then I just just kept working at it, keep just pursuing the passion.
Well, we've been saving this for all of her fans. She's very excited. Her career has come full circle. She's done some of the movies we mentioned. Joe mentioned one that he had called Tale of Tales.
Your new series, Tales of Tales, which you're running a campaign now for.
So let Blanca tell the story.
Yeah.
For her
so,
fans.
So I'm in the Emmy magazine right now, the latest one for my campaign. So my category is Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, and it's my first. I've been here doing acting for 14 years. This is the first time my work is recognized with the Television Academy, and so I'm in that category. So I'm on the ballot. So any Emmy members, voters, please check out category 69.
And how can your fans support you in this?
Well, they could, reshare. I have on my social media, I have posters of my campaign. They could reshare it, and maybe, a voter will see it. But just, I appreciate I have so much engagement with my fans on my social medias that I just, keeping everyone updated and whatever they can, reshare.
And by the way, you are amazing in Tales of Tales. Harley, Wall, and Kitty, they did an amazing job in that, and I love you. You're one of my favorite characters in that series.
Thank you.
And your performance is amazing.
Thank you. It was fun. It was definitely when Harley Wallen, approached me for the role. I was not familiar with that industry, so I also thought we need to put light to this topic, because nobody really talks about the nightclub, life,
Playing a stripper,
like behind the scenes and stuff. Like when
and
you
she
go
plays
to,
a stripper.
I play a stripper and
a beautiful, very sexy.
Yeah. So, but what goes behind the scenes, all the hard work they do, it's just like
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
Yes.
Like when you're walking with 7-inch heels, and dancing at the same time, and then you're trying to connect with the customers. It takes a lot of courage. I know I did practice in LA before I went to Detroit, and I took some lessons, pole dancing lessons. I was just surprised because I'm a pretty, I feel I'm like a fit person. I exercise, a few times a week, and I eat healthy and stuff. But when I was doing that, I'm like, wow, I'm really out of shape, because you're walking with the heels, and then you have to. I was bruised all the time. I'm like, wow, and I can believe. So if I ever,
is not an
and they give
easy
you a
life,
dollar.
believe me. And not only that, but imagine doing it and like being one of the girls who are in the club who are actually only getting like $5 or $10 a song
or
to
like
go through all of that for a
it's like
customer,
so-
and then having to go out and like do a 2-for-1 or something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, you're getting paid as an actress
Yeah.
a completely different amount of money than the girls are earning in the club. And my hat's off to all the girls. I've been a dancer myself in my life, but my hat's off to all the girls, to all the dancers out there.
Yeah.
Demi Moore also did a movie, Stripper, wasn't it called?
Striptease, yes.
Striptease. And it was amazing. And she said the same thing. Getting ready to be able to show up and portray a dancer was just so much work for her. One of the things I want to talk about is working with your real life partner. Is he your partner, husband?
Partner.
Your partner.
Yeah.
Your love interest in film. So you have a film out with your love interest, actor John Savage, and I'm sure some of you guys know who that is, right?
A true legend.
Right? A legendary actor. And so how many films have you done together? What's your favorite?
So,
Tell us about it.
My favorite one is Eye for Eye that we just did together. It's out on Amazon Prime, and I play a rancher. And it's been fun because it's nice working together because we really separate our relationship. We're professionals, so we just like do our work. We don't really bug each other when we're working, only if we have to for when we're filming.
Did you have like a love scene where you guys have a romantic interest in the film, or just separated roles?
The character did did want that, but I was in love with
that's
another
too bad,
guy.
because Joe Williamson kept saying in the car, make sure you ask her how he rates as a kid. What is it? How he rates
So
as a kisser.
John is a kisser?
How do you rate John as a kisser? We're dying to know.
What is the scale?
From 1 to 10.
From 1 to 10.
I will say 10.
You would say a 10?
Yeah, he's a great kisser.
Have you ever had to kiss him on screen?
I don't think so, but I have kissed other guys on screen, and he's there in the scene.
And he's there in the scene. He's okay with it, right? I would be okay with it.
We're
but
professionals,
you know me.
you know?
Right. That's amazing.
Well, it's like we understand, the work, it's like, it's part of,
I was
our
just wondering
business.
if it was different on screen as it was in, real life, because I know that there was like a big story. I remember Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were married, and they did a movie together called Eyes Wide Shut. And there was a big story around it, how they didn't have any chemistry in the movie, and that they thought that that's why the movie didn't do well. And I said, it's got to be really hard to leave everything at home and then come to the set and have to, climb into a role together. But
yeah, you definitely have to separate your life, your personal life, and be there with what, your task, because you can't really be there and be as a couple, because then you're not ready, you're not in character.
Right.
You're like
And when you climb into character, it is like that, where you just become the character, and that completely separates you from who you are in your real life. Well, how can your fans get your book?
So
where can you go buy her book?
You can get my book at Barnes & Noble, and also you can order on Amazon, because I know nowadays Amazon has, it's perfect. In 2 days it's delivered. So you can definitely get it there. And then also it's in like about 50 bookstores all over the country. And it's been bestseller in many of the places. So it's been a wonderful experience. Like people ask me, oh, so you're gonna be an author now? Like you're not gonna do acting? I'm like, no, I just wrote it because during the lockdown, we needed a message of hope. And
Are you
but-
doing a book tour? Maybe?
Yeah, I actually started my book tour in France.
So your fans can actually come and meet her in person, pick
Yeah.
up a copy of her book, and get it autographed.
Yeah, and also I just finished a book tour in Washington State for the universities and high schools and elementary school. So I get a lot of the people that are listening to my interviews, my presentations. Like I get a lot of people that are crying during it, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I? I wonder what's going on. Okay, so then I just realized now they have counselors when we talk because it is very heavy stuff, and a lot of people, especially that the students that I've been seeing, a lot of Latinos, they're experiencing the same challenges that I experience, and then they just feel inspired that maybe they can change their life trajectory.
What advice do you have for the dreamers today that are here in California? Because I know that they've had this big thing going on where they may overturn the dreamers, and then they fought and they brought it back, and they're not sure about what's going on. And then all of these children that are being taken from their parents at the borders and being kept away from their families.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean,
It is absolutely heartbreaking.
The images of the babies, the kids that were being in the cages, and they were using foil as a blanket. It is very disturbing to see because it's like, really, that's happening. And dreamers, I know many people that benefited from that program, and I, just keep in mind that there's keep moving forward. Like no matter what the challenges are, like you are in control. You can, if you have some obstacles, you can just there's other options as well. You can apply for scholarships. You can, don't let anything stop you, because once you stop, then it stops. Like it is up to you.
Well, congratulations. It's amazing how far you've come and all of the things that are going on for you. She just got back from Cannes. She's got a billboard up on Sunset Boulevard. Where is it at?
Oh, it's on Sunset and Myrtle.
Sunset and Myrtle. You just look up and there she is.
Yeah.
And let's give all your fans how they are going to follow you on social media, because of course she's got all of her links. Do you have a website?
Yeah, and one more thing I wanted to mention about my book is that if you go to the title page, you're gonna see a little bunny. It's kind of small, but that's my little bunny. It's a real bunny. I had her for 4 years. She's my pet. So she's she's home, like in home, like she's not in cages. She's just all over the house, and she's super trained and very sweet. Her best friend is a cat, so they spend every day together. So
that's beautiful, and I love your book. By the way, next time I see you, I'm going to bring a copy. I want you to sign it. But I have one question: when they got to make a movie out of it. When they do, who do you think they should have play your character?
I know Rachel Switzer, something like that. She was in the West Side Story. Mm-hmm. I think she would be great for young Blanca, and I will play myself. Yeah,
that is amazing.
But yeah,
and all these people, all these kids that are out there today, do not give up on your dreams and hold on, because no matter what is going on today, look what can happen for you tomorrow. I mean, if you want to be an actor, then go out there and pursue it. If you want to go get your master's degree, go out there and pursue it. You can do it.
Yeah,
Blanca did.
Yeah, don't let anything stop you, because you are able to achieve what you want. You just have to be patient and stay focused.
That's an amazing story.
No, that's beautiful. And I have another question. What's your next book gonna be?
So I'm working right now on the next book, but I really don't have a date, But also, I wanted to let everyone know that you can follow me on Instagram, Blanca Blanco Actress, or on Twitter, Blanca Blanco, or Facebook. But I don't think many people have Facebook. Right here at the bottom of your
screen, there is where you can follow her.
Oh yeah, you can go on my website, blancablanco.com, and you can get all my social medias there.
We got a call? Okay. So next up, guys, joining our show, we are going to be having a very special guest. They're going to be dropping from their new album called The Lost Anthology. They have a new single out, and it is about the ravages of war on the most innocent. and undeserving. It is called The Last Children. And we are going to be joined by Ukrainian, Canadian descendant, and heavy metal band, a very historical heavy metal band that's been around for about 30 years. And a portion of the proceeds from their album sales and their single sales are going to help the war-ravaged children of Ukraine. So we're going to be playing their single, and we're going to be helping our listeners know how you can go out there and get a copy of a great new metal album and donate to Ukraine. So as soon as he makes it onto the show, we will be cutting right into that. And in the meantime, everybody's got something going on, and I'm just so proud of you.
No, thank you so much, and it's always an honor and a pleasure to be on your show. And you always, it's always have a blast. You always have amazing guests, and your shows, just keep on getting better and better.
Thank you, Joe. It's
my
good
pleasure.
to have you back on the show as well. So, what's up for you next?
So next is I'm making my Breaking the Mold into a series. So that's something that I'm working on
A
right
TV series?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So we're working on that. So this week, we're working on that with the production company, and so that's something that is coming out. Like, it will be released on soon, but it's just, I was really excited because, when I wrote the book, I was also thinking of a TV series. Like, I wanted to do, I think that I was watching Netflix a lot during the lockdown, and I'm just like,
who wasn't watching
I
Netflix
know.
during the lockdown, right?
It's like the only, and I thought, we need more stories of real life experiences, and people would watch it and get inspired. So I thought, that's what I'm working on, and then also just my Emmy campaign, and
Do you have any LA appearances for the book that we need to announce for you?
Not right now. Like, I just finished my Washington State tour, so right now I'm doing my Emmy campaign. So then we're gonna start again with the tour. Yeah.
And we've had Harley Wallen
Oh,
on the
I love
show.
Harley and Katie.
Yeah,
Oh, I
they're
know.
wonderful people. He actually, what was the name of the movie that he was on my show and promoted?
I think it might have been Betrayed, the movie he did with you.
I think it was he mentioned her.
And it's funny how you're so nice and you're so sweet, and you were so nasty and evil in that. You totally, it's amazing.
What was her character?
I was the villain in the story, but very dark character. She was helping with trafficking, and it was definitely, for me it was like, I like complicated characters where it's just like so many layers you can find, and you can just like bring out to life, and I just felt that character was so opposite from me. So it was just like, and I
How do you prepare for a character that's so opposite? I get a lot of villains too myself, but people usually typecast me, and that's something that I'm used to doing, especially when it's like a stripper or whatever. But I'm used to doing that, so I have like an automatic. But when somebody throws something at me that's totally the opposite of who I am, how do you prepare to do that?
Well, the main thing is not to judge the character, or like, for example, my character was obviously a person that it wouldn't be socially acceptable in this society to have someone that traffics, and so you have to detach your societal values and just focus on the intention of the character, the goal for the scenes, and basically I just focus on just like the acting part, like understanding the.
You guys ready? Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We just ran that call just a couple of minutes late. It happens sometimes when you're doing Zoom. Blanca's going to hold that thought. We'll come back to her in a minute. I want to welcome to the show. Do we have him live? There he is. Welcome to Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored. Nico is joining us tonight from Eden Muir to talk about their new album. Is it new? Lost Anthology. And the single, The Last Children. How you doing? Well, we can still hear him, can't we? There he is. Bear with us, guys. We're dealing with technology. Got him. Nico, are you there? Nico. I don't think we're getting audio on him. Is it your Wi-Fi? Hold on one second. Nico, can you talk so that I can see if we're getting audio on you?
No.
Are you there? Okay, I'll tell you what. You guys work on the audio, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to flip this, and I'm going to go ahead and play the song, the Last Children, off of the album, The Lost Anthology, and we'll come back to Nico after they work on this sound for a minute. Let's go ahead and do that.
Yes, I'm here.
Got it?
Oh, I got bad off here or what?
Hypnotized by the scream, brothers now become zombies. All of the golden rules fall into their oblivion. They no longer play. No respect, no love, no mercy. They're the last children facing the end of the line. Last children hiding in the shadows of life. Last children, lost sons of a failed society. Last children dealing with being left behind. Laws are broken by the smiling face of corrupt icons. Evil corporations just hungry for bigger profits this year. No one-way tickets for this impending fate while we kneel down to the digital mastermind. Sign a dotted line for the mayhem the news scream. I bid you welcome to a new man and kingdom bound to its doom.
Oh, that was great.
That is the Last Children off of the album, The Lost Anthology. And now joining us live via the telephone is Nico, the front man for Eden Muir. How you doing, Nico? Are you there? Nico.
I'm doing great.
Are you, did you call in on our live line now, or are you back on the Zoom again?
Yes, I did, yes.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay, because it
I
looks
have
like
the
we're trying to
video
pick
going,
you
but,
up on Zoom, and we're starting to see a picture of you in the corner over there. Yeah, my apologies to everybody out there. This is the first time that we've had a Wi-Fi problem in the studio, so technical stuff does technical things.
Yeah,
what can
my
we say?
apologies,
But it's good to have you on the show, and the song is great. I love it, and
Thank you, appreciate that.
I really love that you are donating a portion of the proceeds to. Is it the album or the song, or what is it? So we can get it out there for you.
The album is just based on sales. I mean, my great Guido, which is my great grandpa, he was from Ukraine. So, we still have family and everything back there, and seeing all that stuff that's happening. And I mean, they fled Ukraine in 1904, and now, 100 years later, this is all happening all over again.
It's horrible.
To me.
It's horrible. And
it's
to
ridiculous.
everybody in the world right now, if you are not horrified by what is happening in Ukraine right now, then you are not paying attention. The annihilation of Ukrainians by Russia and Vladimir Putin is absolutely unacceptable. And for me, I try to follow it as much as I can, and I've literally found myself in tears more than once over what's happening, and especially to the children who are the innocent victims of war, and it's just unacceptable.
It's just displaced a lot of people, and the damage done. I mean, it's going to take. Well, I'll never see it in my lifetime. For them to rebuild all that damage done, and displacing people, and they're spread out all over the world. So now their whole communities are all ripped apart. I mean, that's tough to see.
So how do your fans get out there? And we're going to have to pick you up on another visit to the studio when we can set up a better Wi-Fi connection, so we can actually really get into the nuts and bolts of your band. And I found them on social media. I saw the song and I said, wow, this thing is great. I love it. And we want to get you on the show. So we definitely had an opportunity to air the song tonight. And it is off the album Lost Anthology. And how do they donate, or how do they buy it so that the proceeds can make it to Ukraine?
Well, everything is done through www.edenmuir.com at the orders link, and I just take a proceed off of each sale, and I just send that in.
That's awesome.
To the Red Cross.
You're a great guy. That is super awesome. This is a metal band from Canada, right? You originated in Canada?
Yes.
They've been around for 30 years. It's 30 years, right?
There's really two chapters to this. Like it's a big bio, because we kind of started this back in 1987 when me and Todd Kalesa first met at the music shop, and we continuously wrote music, and all through the years, I'd be working with different bands. We weren't always working together, and it just so happened that he passed away in 2002. I had unfinished music that needed to be completed, and in 2016 I decided to go into pre-production, get all that wrapped up, and start hiring session players to help me finish the music. And then Gus Monsanto, who's the vocalist, came in from Brazil, and we really connected on a musical level, and he helped me finish up the songs, and now we can move forward on the next chapter, which is going out and touring and promoting.
Absolutely. So you're going to start in Canada. You'll be touring around Canada with this album. It has been out. Has it been out recently, or has it been out for a while?
Yeah, I released it at the end of February. Of February, and I'm just starting to build the name. So Eden Muir is really in its infancy right now, and Gus Monsanto is already working with Human Fortress out of Germany. He just finished playing in Hellfest in France. So he's kind of busy working over there in Germany right now. Once he gets out over here to Canada, then we'll be able to start going and working on going out and playing some live shows. And
Well,
building the
we
name.
definitely
It's a big
have to
building
get
process.
you on the show, Nico, on a better
thanks.
connection so that our
I know,
fans
I
can
like-
really
I
sit down and be introduced
get
to
it
you in a way that you deserve and your music deserves. So we're definitely going to have you back on the show at ASAP, right,
I
Joe?
appreciate
Of course,
that.
yes.
I
So
appreciate it.
thank you for coming in tonight. We lost a lot of time trying to go back and forth, so our show is just about to close, but I want to thank you for joining us. And once again, guys, go to the website. The website is on the screen, I think, right now. It is Eden Muir, MYRRH.com, correct?
Yes, Eden Muir, the paradise
That's
of God
right.
suffering.
And
That's
they're
amazing.
all over on social media. What's the social media link?
Well, that'd be just official Eden Muir at the Facebook site, and then Eden Muir at the Twitter, EdenMuir.com. Yeah, I think that's kind
Awesome.
of about it. We're on Spotify.
Thank you, Nico. I really appreciate you
Thank you,
calling in, and thank you for persevering so that we could at least get you on the show, if even for a second. And we look forward to having
Tomorrow's
you back on the
another
show
day,
again.
and we'll make it so much better next time. I
Awesome.
apologize.
Thank you. Thank you, Nico. That was Nico from
Okay.
Eden Muir. Guys, we're sorry about the connection. It happens sometime with technical stuff, but we're back. We're back in the house, and we have Blanca Blanco here with us. And just before we go, let's let your fans know how they can get a copy of your book, follow you on social media.
So, yeah, you can get a copy of my book, Breaking the Mold. It's at Barnes & Nobles, and you can also get it at Amazon or at your local bookstore. It's all over the country in different bookstores. So,
Awesome.
and then also you can just follow me on Instagram, Blanca Blanco Actress, or Twitter, Blanca Blanco.
And she is beautiful, so make sure you follow her, guys. Guys, that's all the time we have for tonight's show. Apologize to you for the technical glitch, and we will make it up to you because we have a lot. We'll have the act back on the show so we can talk to them. And also, join us next week because we're going to have in the studio the legendary UK punk rock band, the Automatics. They'll be joining us in the studio. And follow us at Twitter at Rock-N-Sexxy, and make sure you guys make a note of our live stream on our blog, Rock-N-Sexxxy UnCensored.com. See you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Amber Lynn's Rock-N-Sexxy Uncensored, available on Rock-N-Sexxxy UnCensored.com. Don't forget to hit us up on all your favorite social media links, and tune in next week for another amazing episode of Rock-N-Sexxy Uncensored.